going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal SpazPhoenix, the YWC reality check, and it's time! It is time to talk about the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. This Sunday we got SmackDown to go, but if you read the spoilers for SmackDown, then there's nothing else until the Rumble. So, Road Signs has hit its first stop, so to speak, and yes, I'm going to keep being that cliche. The Royal Rumble, the first big pay-per-view step on the road to WrestleMania. A couple thoughts going into the show, a couple thoughts in general as we're heading towards WrestleMania. Going to cover both sort of simultaneously in this video. Let's talk about what's going on here. Let's talk about the newly face-turned Miz facing Antonio Cesaro for the US title on the YouTube pre-show of the Royal Rumble. Now this is interesting because the last time either one of these guys were on a pre-show, they were on there because they were facing Santino Marella. This is back when Miz was jobbing, and this is back when Antonio saved us all from Santino Marella and his US title run. A couple different thoughts going on here. We're slowly watching the maturation and the gestation of Miz's face turn, and I love it. I don't care what anybody else says. For one thing, and I'm just going to say it, this past week on Raw, when he had the match with, was it this past week on... Yeah, it was this past week on Raw when he fought Dolph Ziggler. And he botched a figure four. And every single Miz hater out there, every single Miz steak out there salivated because they had something to jump on because of a guy that they already didn't like anyway. Oh, we can get him! Oh, we can get him! We can get him! But if it had been one of your internet darlings, if it had been Daniel Bryan that slipped something in the wrong way, or if it had been CM Punk who didn't quite cinch something in enough, or if it had been, you know, this guy or that guy, or if it had, say, Tyson Kidd had, you know, paid tribute to Bret Hart with the sharpshooter and didn't quite lock it in properly, you would have been forgiving as fuck. Haters gonna hate, y'all can fuck yourself. Miz is awesome, and you don't like that he's getting the rub from Ric Flair, which I think is fucking amazing, because people say that the rub from Ric Flair should have gone to Ziggler. First of all, Ziggler's a heel, and with the pop that Flair gets when he shows up at a live event, Flair's not going to be considered heel ever. Second of all, and even I will admit this as a Miz fan, Dolph Ziggler is a hell of a lot more over than the Miz is. So why would you not put him with the guy that needs the little bit of a boost, especially with this character turn, rather than with Ziggler, who they keep making the same mistake of not knowing he doesn't need to be with anybody. He doesn't need Vicky, he doesn't need Big E, and as great as she is to look at, he doesn't need AJ Lee either to get over. So what sense would it have made to put him with Ric Flair? You're salivating over the fact that you finally have something to tack the Miz on. Oh, he missed the figure four. Okay, what, in the third televised match he's ever used the move in? Yeah, get over it. Second of all, there's a couple things going on here with the match itself. It's a big step down for the Miz. I mean, we've seen him in Elimination Chamber, we've seen him fight for the WWE Championship, we've seen him main event WrestleMania, and now he's on the pre-show fighting for maybe the least prestigious title that a male singles competitor can compete for in the WWE, against Antonio Cesaro, who, while he is great, is also pretty much a noob in the WWE sense. And when I say the WWE sense, I mean I don't include NXT, I don't include the Indies. As a WWE on television Raw roster guy, he's a noob. So Miz fighting him is a step down for the Miz, whether you like to admit it or not. On the plus side, Miz is pulling a bit of a Ziggler here and making Antonio Cesaro look like gold, making the US title more prestigious and drawing at least a few eyes to the YouTube pre-show. Drawing eyes to the YouTube pre-show, which will draw more eyes to the Royal Rumble. It serves its purpose. I think Miz is getting the shaft in this deal, but I can see why they've done it. Here's the deal. I really hope Miz loses this match. Miz does not gain anything from beating Antonio Cesaro. Miz does not gain anything from winning on YouTube. Miz does not win anything by another US title run. But Antonio Cesaro, the great emerging talent that he is, whether people like The Miz or not, have to admit that Antonio Cesaro will get some marquee value if he can defend his newly won United States Championship against The Miz, and maybe then go on to the Royal Rumble, make a half-decent showing there, and, you know, call it a good night. So much of a Miz fan as I am, I really hope he loses this match, because he needs to be going to things. Why do you go off? See, this is what I deal with, guys. This is what happens every time I try to do a video. Yeah. Actually, Let's zoom in on this. It's actually, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to do this only because this is a text from Deluxeman. Deluxeman tweeting me, fucking up my video. Alright, moving on. Alex, I'm just kidding, bud. Talk to you soon. Tag team match. Okay, there we go. Deluxeman interrupts me with a tweet as I'm about to talk about Hell No. How apropos is that? Rhodes and Sandow deserve to be the tag team champions more than Hell No. I'm just putting it out there right now. They form more functionally as a team. They're a team I can actually get behind. They actually meld well together. They deserve to be the champions. With them as the champions, if they can show some struggle with whatever team they face next, hopefully the Usos, or hopefully, Gabriel and Kidd, but whatever, they're a new enough team, and they're a less marquee as far as world titles go team, that it will be believable when they struggle against these other young teams, and it'll even out the playing field in the tag team division, which will make the tag team division a lot more interesting. Not like Hell No, which are basically the John Cenas of the tag team division, which makes it boring as hell. Bryan and Kane need to split up. Now, if they split up and go their separate ways, fine. If they do what I perceive, and most of the people in the YWC perceive, and that's build to a match against each other at WrestleMania, that will be great. Because against each other, or anything else they do as singles guys, these guys are great. Daniel Bryan is one of the best wrestlers in this wrestling company. Oh, I'm using that bad word again. I'm supposed to say superstars, but Daniel Bryan is an actual wrestler. Hell of a lot more than John Cena, hell of a lot more than Sheamus, hell of a lot more than Big Show, hell of a lot more than Ryback, just saying. And Kane, as much, I've said it before, as much a fan as I am not of the big guy wrestler, Kane is one of the best. So let him go off, do his thing, let Bryan go off and do his thing, or let them face each other, let them do anything but carry these tag team titles. There is no way. I'm making this my lock. More than anything else, I'm making it my lock that Team Rhodes Scholars walks out tag team champions. Moving on. Divas match is a giant question mark because Caitlyn just won the belt. Logic usually would dictate that her former champion would get the rematch at the pay-per-view, but her former champion quit. So yeah, so she's going to have bullshit opponents until WrestleMania, where I predict she'll go up against AJ Lee in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But the whole Divas division is a question mark for the Royal Rumble. I predict we will either see Natalya or Tamina in the Rumble as the token woman to enter the Rumble this year. World Heavyweight Championship match. This is where it gets interesting, because I don't like the Big Show, but I like his role in boosting Alberto Del Rio. It's been made into another street fight at the request of the Big Show, which opens itself up to not only a whole lot more hardcore antics all over the arena, excitement like that, a little bit of chaos, which is what works better with the big guy versus small guy stuff. I mean, the big guy can bulldoze everybody. The small guy can, pull a John Morrison maybe and do a little bit of parkour, a little bit of off the announce table or some crap like that. It allows for a lot more variety from a talent like the Big Show, who doesn't really have much variety. So I predict that this is going to be a good match. For SmackDown, whenever the title match was, I think it was like 2 weeks ago on SmackDown when Alberto Del Rio originally won, this match was a hell of a lot better than it deserved to be for a SmackDown match. So if they're going to give it more time on a pay-per-view stage, all it is going to be is it's going to be lead up to the Rumble match anyway. So I predict this is going to be a great match. There's no way the Big Show's winning it, which makes me a happy kid. Alberto Del Rio is going to fight his little heart out. They're trying to push him as this, great Latino, Spanish, Mexican superhero, not superhero, but like hero of the people type thing. I messed up the phrasing of that horribly, but they're making him this big Mexican hero, and they're going to do that by having him create the big feat of just defeating the Big Show again. It's lazy WWE booking that somebody's awesome as soon as they beat the Big Show, because the Big Show isn't that good, is he? All the Big Show has to do his job is show up and be big. Give me a couple more cheeseburgers and I could do Big Show's job. I'm just saying. Now, I want to detour a little bit, because Dolph Ziggler finds himself in a very, very precarious spot going into the Royal Rumble match. Ziggler won the Beat the Clock Challenge on Raw this week. First of all, let me say that unlike most Beat the Clock challenges, where the time frame is like 3 minutes to 2 minutes to 1 minute to, you know, somebody winning in like 30 seconds or whatever, we did have a Beat the Clock challenge, and this was actually mentioned in a video that, ironically enough, Alex did, I think yesterday or the day before, where he says Beat the Clock challenge, it didn't make any sense because the match is still 11 minutes. A match will still go the length that it's going to go. The fact that you put a clock up and all of a sudden whoever wins faster isn't necessarily always realistic. We had a Beat the Clock challenge match, yeah, but we had a great match between Cesaro and Orton that went about 11 minutes, between Miz and Ziggler that went about 10, and between Sheamus and Barrett. Who the hell is talking to me now? Anyways, sorry guys. And between Sheamus and Barrett, they went to a no contest, so it would have gone longer if it hadn't been a Beat the Clock challenge. That's 3 decent length matches on Raw. I don't see how anybody can complain about a Beat the Clock match being long, because if you want Beat the Clock to be short, you're going to have an entire Raw full of glorified squash matches. And all the people that are haters for him, oh, same old shit, Orton squashing another talent, where realistically he made Cesaro look like $1 million. But that's not the point. The point is, Ziggler, through scheming means, won the Beat the Clock challenge, went back to Vicky Guerrero's office, said, I get to pick my number, and Vicky says, yeah, you get to pick your number, 1 or 2. So, predicting that Ziggler's going to be the show-off, I'm guessing he's going to go in at number 1. Now, here is a very interesting combination of facts. Alberto Del Rio and the Big Show are having a last man standing match, which means at least one of them isn't going to be standing at the end of the match. Now, not that I want to see Del Rio's title run end, and not that I think Dolph Ziggler's going to win the Rumble, but would it not be a hell of a night for the show-off if he could cash in Money in the Bank, become World Heavyweight Champion, go in at number 1, go the distance, win the Rumble, and go on to main event WrestleMania, unify the belts, and make me a happy kid for once. Oh yes, never gonna happen, but fantasy booking is always, always great. Either way, Ziggler is going to bump his ass off in the Rumble. Will he become involved in the World Heavyweight Championship match? I hope so, because eventually the rumor is, and yes, I'm going back to the rumor mill, like I said during Road Signs, I will pay more credence to the rumor mill. The rumor mill used to say that they were going to go for Del Rio Orton at WrestleMania. Now they're leaning more towards Del Rio Ziggler, and that will steal the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that could potentially, and yes, I'm going to say this, that could be the Punk Jericho of this year's WrestleMania. It won't be the main event, but an argument could be made that it should be. Oh yes. The Rumble match itself. Now, let's be honest. All signs point to Cena, as much bullshit as that is. And yes, I could go into an entire Cena tirade, because my opinion of Cena, especially after the abortion of a promo he pulled on Raw, hasn't really changed much. But if you want to know my opinion of Cena, it hasn't really changed much. Go back on this channel, look for a 45-minute video called Cenapocalypse. You'll get my 2 cents on John Cena. Other people that could or should win this match, because the main event at WrestleMania is now reserved for those people above the glass ceiling, above the gold ceiling. Triple H, Taker, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, CM Punk, John Cena. Those are the only people that are getting into the main event at WrestleMania. It's true. But if that ceiling wasn't there, I'm going to say Miz. Everybody else can screw themselves. Ziggler, Barrett definitely needs a big moment like this. Orton deserves it. He's won the Rumble before, but how long ago was that? And how much has he done for the entire SmackDown roster since then? Orton has been basically sacrificing his own name and reputation and whatever on SmackDown to make everybody else look like gold. So if they gave him another Royal Rumble win, no, I wouldn't complain at all. Cody Rhodes is another one that needs a big moment, who's kind of been lost in the shuffle. If he becomes one of the tag team champions and then goes on to carry world gold at the same time, guess what? Not only does it bring prestige to him, because he will be the new world champion, not only will it bring new, different kind of attention to the World Heavyweight Championship because a new person is holding it, but it will bring prestige by association to the tag team division as well. Because if another team, if Road Scholars, I'm going to say this slowly because I'm steamrolling over myself a bit here, if Road Scholars become the tag team champions, and Cody Rhodes becomes the World Heavyweight Champion, then the team that beats Rhodes Scholars for those tag team championships can also say that they beat the World Heavyweight Champion. And doesn't that make everybody look better? The potentials are endless. Now, another X factor in the Royal Rumble is the Shield. Now, when they had the Nexus and the Core a couple years ago, and like all 10 of them came down at once and it was a big clusterfuck, that was too much. But the Shield, if the Shield is all in the ring at the same time at the Rumble, one of two things will happen. They'll start picking off people, or the people that they've been picking off are going to gang up on them, because they've established quite a laundry list of enemies. Orton, Sheamus, the members of Team Hell No, Rey Mysterio if he comes back, Sin Cara if he comes back, John Cena, The Rock could do a run-in and screw over the Shield for all we know. We don't know, okay, we're going to talk about Rock Punk in a minute, but we don't know if the loser of Rock Punk is going to be in the Royal Rumble. So CM Punk's got to be seen as a force, and or if The Rock loses and he's in the Rumble, holy crap, why are people texting me while I'm doing a video? Fuck off, I'm doing a video. Gonna get the shirt made, guys, I promise. Gonna get the fuck off, I'm doing a video shirt made. Gonna get the I can speak, I swear shirt made, for sure. Probably gonna get Deluxe Man to do it because he's great with graphics. Any graphics you see on this channel are all done by Deluxe Man, so all credit in the world goes to him. Go check him out, sub to him if you haven't. Good guy. If you don't know who he is, pull your head out of your ass. Moving on to the main events of Royal Rumble, or what I'm presuming will be the main event of the Royal Rumble, Rock versus Punk. Now, the mark in me, the long-time wrestling fan, the Attitude Era fan in me, will mark out. Yeah, I'll say that. Will mark out if The Rock wins the belt. I will be honest. I will mark out, but I will mark out knowing that I shouldn't mark out, because the logical thing, or the progressive thing, or the progressive, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Come on, help me out, it's late. The one that leads more into the future, whatever the heck that word is. Somebody help me with words down in the box below. The one that makes the most sense is for Punk to win, so of course it's not going to happen. So basically the 2 points I've got for this is The Rock will win, Punk should win, and that's just the way it is. The outside elements in this match, and I think, honestly, there's too many outside elements in this match at this point. Honestly, you got Heyman on the outside. He's doing the manager thing. I can buy him being there. The sort of out-of-nowhere association between Heyman and Vicky when they couldn't stand each other 3 weeks ago, I could do without. But, you know, they're bonding over their mutual hatred of The Rock, which is really, really loose, because The Rock makes fun of everybody. I could do without Vicky. Ziggler didn't need Vicky. CM Punk sure as fuck doesn't need Vicky. There was a little handshake and a wink and a nod between Brad Maddox and, wow, really? Really? My phone, guys. Like, seriously. Seriously. There was a wink and a nod between Brad Maddox and Paul Heyman. On Raw. So, are we going to get Brad Maddox as the referee? Because I thought he was fired. Are we going to get a run-in from Brad Maddox? Is he that suicidal, really? Is he going to persuade one of his ex-fellow referees to do a shady thing? Is the match going to become no disqualification? Are we going to have anything like that? Is The Rock going to restart his own match like he did at WrestleMania when he was the host, which was garbage? Shield are banned from ringside, says Vince McMahon. Or CM Punk will forfeit the title. They're going to be involved. There's no way they're not going to be involved. I can see them doing something like beating down Rock before the match, and CM Punk arguing, well, it didn't happen during the match, so you can't strip me of my title. This match didn't need Vince McMahon's involvement. This match didn't need Vicky Guerrero's involvement. I can deal with the Shield because they are an entire element that is there to build heel heat for CM Punk. This is the bad guy. Bad guys do what they do. Bad guys go and look for backup. That's what the Shield is. And it makes sense. I don't mind that element whatsoever. Heyman, if the Shield is the NWO, and listen to me very carefully, if the Shield is the NWO, then CM Punk is Hulk Hogan. Better than Hulk Hogan, but CM Punk is Hulk Hogan, which makes Paul Heyman CM Punk's Eric Bischoff. And I think that is a very apt comparison. Paul Heyman being the slimy guy on the side, in the corner, doing his role like he does, like a proper manager does, which is not putting focus on himself, putting focus on his client, putting focus on the champion. Paul Heyman's brilliant at what he does. So he's an element that has become... He's not necessary. Punk doesn't need him, but because he's so good and because they are such a good fit, he is almost a necessary element now. The Shield is there to build CM Punk's heel-ness. Look at me, look at I've got all this backup and I'm going to put all the odds against you, da-da-da-da. Vicky is not necessary. I don't think Brad Maddox is necessary. I don't think Vince is necessary. You want my honest opinion? This match is going to be a clusterfuck when it should be a classic. And that's sad. What else is sad is that clusterfuck is going to be the main event over the Royal Rumble match, which is the marquee match of the night, which also doesn't make any sense, but I'm nitpicking. And I know I'm nitpicking. There's nitpicks that I can throw into each and every one of these matches, but guess what, guys? I am looking forward to each and every one of these matches because these matches are the signs, and I'm going to say it again. They're the signs on the road. They're the signs that are going to form the road to WrestleMania. After this, we've only got one more stop, really, and that's through the Elimination Chamber where anything else can happen. But, despite the fact that Elimination Chamber likes to take this title a little bit, Royal Rumble does set the path to WrestleMania. I'm excited. I'm excited. The people we know for sure are in the Royal Rumble match. Cena, Orton, Sheamus, Ziggler at number 1 or number 2, Antonio Cesaro, Wade Barrett, all 3 members of 3MB, Ryback, Miz, Kane, Bryan, both the primetime players, probably the Shield, and anybody else they want to throw in there. The rumor is Morrison. The rumor is Morrison, and I will mark the fuck out just for that as well. I'm excited. I hope I've shared some of that excitement with you. Guys that are in my Royal Rumble lottery, I'm going to repost your numbers in the description box of this video. Please write them down. I'm really excited for that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know Deluxe Man kind of stole my idea. That's awesome. I'm glad he's getting more people in the YWC involved. I'm excited. I'm rambling. It's time that I should stop this video, but I just can't. Guys, Royal Rumble is this Sunday. I'll be watching. Will you be watching? Are you as excited as I am? Say it down there. But until then, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Talk about the Royal Rumble. I'm tagging out. I'll see y'all later. Bye.